Prologue. Captain James Michael stood atop the barren cliffs of Zinthar, the wind whipping around him, a wild dance of weather and destiny. His eyes, sharp and reflective, scanned the horizon, where the distant glow of the tournament lights flickered like a dying star. This planet, known for its fierce inhabitants and even fiercer battles, was a realm of chaos, and he was drawn into its storm. But more than the promise of glory in the tournament, there was a darker pull, a flicker of an ancestral legacy that haunted him through centuries. Born into a family gifted with ethnicity that sang of strength and spirit, the Michaels had been revered across the stars for their martial prowess and telekinetic abilities. Yet beneath the surface of honor and skill lay threads of a sorrowful past that James sought to unravel, but he could not do it alone. He needed his cousin Michael, a technopath with an affinity for the shadows lurking in their bloodline. Chapter 1, Call to Arms. In the dim light of his quarters, James re-engaged the holo-transmitter, sending a piercing signal through the cosmic void to reach his cousin. Michael, I need your help. Zinthar welcomes the strongest, but darkness lingers like an uninvited shadow. I can feel it, rising amidst the glory. It was a risk, but the urgency of the message boiled over his initial hesitance. The tournament was not just a showcase of skill, it was a battleground for vengeance, echoing rumors of past grudges revived in this ancient arena. Michael arrived within the week, confidence etched in the lines of his face, but disappointment dripped from his voice. You of all people should not need anyone's assistance, James. What haunts you? James, holding the trinket of their lineage, a delicate orb glowing beneath his fingertips, breathed in the gravity of his responsibility. My past catches up to me, and the sins of our forebears dance mockingly in the shadows of Zinthar. I need you, Michael. The arena will be alive with aggression, and I fear not just the fighters, but those who seek to manipulate from the shadows. We must not pay homage to the legacy of hate that has long haunted our family. Chapter 2, Echoes of History. Zinthar unfolded under a tent of night, cities sprawled under the shimmering embrace of two moons, cloaked in fleeting whispers of history. Their first steps echoed against the cobblestone paths as James felt the palpable tension hanging in the air. The locals, known for embracing the relentless spirit of combat, formed a tide of earnest and zealous anticipation, their eyes gleaming with battle lust. Yet beneath that excitement stirred a sinister undercurrent. In the days leading up to the tournament, James and Michael immersed themselves in the traditions and remnants of their ancestors. They sought counsel from elders who guarded their family's legacy with old-world wisdom. The tales were riddled with courage, but often tangled with tragedy. The Michaels had once been the guardians of Zinthar's balance until they were betrayed by their own, fragmented by their inability to control the power that came so easily to them. We have the gift of manipulation, yet the burden comes with peril. It's a balance we must not disturb, or we may become the curse that weighs upon us, an elder spoke, his voice rasping like dry leaves in a storm. As the tournament drew near, both James and Michael trained rigorously, revisiting the martial arts they had mastered and unearthing new weapons forged from their family's unique control over gravity. They practiced telekinetic strikes, deflecting incoming aggression not with pure skill, but with the unseen threads that connected them to the universe. Chapter 3, Battleground of Souls. The arena eventually materialized before them, a circular coliseum carved into rock, filled to the brim with eager spectators. James felt the air thick with expectation. Remember the stories, cousin, he whispered, more to himself than Michael. That night, they shared their fears and hopes, questioning if they could rise above the cycles of bloodshed that haunted their legacy. As the clamor grew, so did the inner turmoil within James. Each bout was fierce, opponents driven by ambition and old rivalries. He fought with his physicality, but the true battle lay buried in the folds of his lineage. What if he failed? Could he woo his past? Then came the final day of the tournament, a dazzling spectacle of light and fury. Each fighter bore scars, both external and internal, reflective of a history that never seemed to fade. But in the ring with him stood a figure familiar yet foreboding, a warrior wearing the emblem of a fallen rival, the symbol of their family's betrayal etched into his skin. the embodiment of what their bloodline had entangled with. As the match commenced, James felt the weight of generations pressing down. Every move he made rippled with anger and sorrow, yet he also felt Michael's presence, the warmth of the connection beneath layers of anxiety. Chapter 4: Gravity of Choices. With the arena echoing their strikes and shouts, James entered a trance of clarity. He tapped into the ancestral energy flowing through him, allowing it to fuel a well of determination. He had to remember their teachings. It was not just about fighting. Winning meant rising from the pit of hatred and despair that had laid waste to their history. The fighter lunged, but James anticipated the movement with a grace that bloomed from within. In a moment of synchronization and precision, he seized control over gravity itself, deflecting the strike and sending his opponent tumbling backwards. The audience roared, gasping at the display of power filled with elegance. The realization washed over him. Every attack was not just a collision of bodies, it was a dance, a manipulation of fate shaped by the choices he made. He could choose to release the cycle of violence, he could choose to heal. Chapter 5: Rising from Ashes. With the final blow, James emerged victorious, but it wasn't the glory that ignited his spirit. Rather, it was the echoes of understanding that reverberated within him. He searched amongst the faces of the crowd, hoping to connect beyond the disdain his family had cultivated over centuries. There, amidst the chaos, he locked eyes with his opponents. A silent plea echoed between them, an acknowledgement of their intertwined fates. As they journeyed back home in the starship, the stars reverberating around them like a cosmic symphony, Captain James Michaels mused over the intertwining threads of fate that had shaped his journey. Zinthar had tested him, not just as a fighter, but as a scion of a legacy bent on redemption. With each choice, he took one step forward, striving to forge a new story, a narrative free of darkness, brimming with unity and strength.